Hey everybody, welcome back to the latest edition and final edition for the 25-26 school year of Inside the Den. All sports at Wallace State now concluded with some great successes to highlight today. Multiple national championships won by the Lions, as well as some really high finishes and some close calls in some other sports. So lots to get into. We've got interviews with national champion head coach Tim Garner, as well as Wallace State's newest head coach to begin the 26-27 school year in Brantton Green, the women's soccer coach. So looking forward to both of those interviews here in one episode for you today, and lots to cover. So let's get into it. Let's catch you up since last time we've been here. As I mentioned at the top, all Wallace State sports for the 25-26 school year are now concluded. We finished the spring on a high note in several sports, but let's cover some of the ones that maybe didn't have the ending they were hoping for first. Our baseball team was playing really well, as mentioned in the last show, headed into the end of the year. And played well in the conference tournament, ultimately falling in the championship game to Shelton State, so ending their season there as the second-place team in the ACCC, and they turn their attention now to recruiting and retaining their players for the next season. Softball also very, very good year, top 15, top 10 in the country all year long. With some big time wins, some disappointing losses to Northeast Alabama, who was ranked number 1 for a large chunk of the year, but played really, really good softball at the end of the year and dropped a tight one to Northeast last year, or to Northeast this year in the championship game of the conference tournament, and just yesterday narrowly missed out on an at-large bid to the national tournament, even though lots of people, especially us, but lots of people in softball and in those circles thought they were deserving, but not to be this year and part of it. So heartbreak for those girls and those sophomores that see their year ended that way. But chins high, they were very, very good all year long, and lots of them will move on to bright futures, both in softball and beyond. Now some of the more fun finishes to the year. Our women's golf team finishes their year in the national tournament at Old Colony Golf Course in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Strong finish by our ladies, finishing in the top 5 of the national tournament yet again, but highlighted again, as they have been for the last year or so, by the performance of Mallory Brooks, who won the individual low medalist national championship. So she is a national champion Wallace State Lion, with 2 really, really good rounds out there in Tuscaloosa. So a great finish for her. If you haven't yet, go listen to our interview with her as we get some insight into her golf and her everyday life. And that was a really great conversation that we were able to have with Mallory Brooks. So go check that out if you haven't yet. Also finishing their year on a high note, mentioned off the top, women's tennis finishes second in the country. They won the ACC C championship, went on to the national tournament in Sumter, South Carolina, and narrowly missed out on a national championship, finishing second to Jones Community College out of Mississippi. But a wonderful year for our women's tennis, highlighted by some big-time performances from Madison Standifer and others, and we'll get you to an interview with Tim Garner as we caught up with him after those performances later. Men's tennis, the best year possibly in Wallace State history for tennis, as they complete an undefeated season, didn't lose to a single junior college all year long, and won the NJCAA Division II National Championship that was that was competed out there in Plano, Texas. Such a dominant performance that we highlight with Tim, that it was sewn up before the final day of competition even began. So great year for our tennis team, highlighted by Angel Gutierrez, who proved at the national tournament that he is the best junior college player in the country at this level. So again, that concludes all the years, all the sports this year. Great season, highlighted by some big time championships by our teams, but obviously the biggest being the national title by the men's tennis team. So great year, and let's get you now over to hear about that year and that national championship and second place finish from men's and women's tennis head coach Tim Garner. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another segment of our Voices with the Pride. We're here today with Coach Tim Garner, head coach of women's and men's tennis here at Wallace State. Recently finished national runner-up with his women's team, followed by a quick turnaround to go to Texas with his men's team and claimed the NJSA Division II national championship out there in, correct me, the city in Texas was
Plano, Texas.
Yep. Plano, Texas. So busy week. Went from Sumter, I think, South Carolina.
That's right.
About a 3-day turnaround was in Plano, Texas.
Crazy,
men's team.
crazy quick.
So thanks for being here, Dave. Appreciate your time. I want to start back. I know. Let's kind of recap a little. We'll start with the women's team since they finished first, but both of them incredibly successful regular season to start off and conference season for your women.
Recapping the year this year for the girls. What a crazy start this year from first JUCO match to the end of the season, battling different injuries. The girls did a phenomenal job ending the year with a great tournament at nationals in Sumter, South Carolina. Battling through some injuries this year and just getting through the season like they did, and to finish it with a second place finish was amazing. Better than I would ever imagined.
Yeah, awesome. I don't know. So we'll get to the tournament. We run through the conference, win the conference tournament. So kind of, because I may butcher it. So tell us kind of the format for and how the champion is determined for in tennis tournaments for somebody that might not be familiar.
So with conference, so we play our regular season matches. You got 9 matches. You got 3 doubles and 6 singles that we play, and that's a head-to-head match throughout the season. Well, when we get to the conference tournament, it's all about individual points, and whichever team ends up with the most points ends up your eventual champion. Well, this year it come down to us and Coastal South, and almost all the final matches, 8 of the 9 final matches was us versus Coastal, and my girls won all 8 of the 9. I mean, in dominant fashion. During the season, it was 5-4, 6-3 us against Coastal head-to-head. But at the conference tournament, man, we just showed out and played very, very well.
Just played unbelievable. So 6 individual draws. Each girl on your team is playing her own individual tournament.
That's right.
Correct. And then your 3 doubles teams also the same deal. And at every match you advance, it accrues points.
That's right.
For your team. So we get to Sumter, South Carolina. We get the draw out there. I know me and you were talking kind of throughout the deal to keep everybody updated on social media, and I know you end up getting a draw, and all 6 singles and all 3 doubles end up in the top seed, in the top position in the tournament out there.
Yeah, we were seated very high in every position, which set the tournament up for us to lose, really. Outside of Jones was the only team that had better seeding than us, but they earned that. They beat us head-to-head. That's the only JUCO match we lost all season. So they earned that top spot in all those areas. And for us to end up in the finals of so many spots against Jones, and then Jones ended up beating us in the finals. I mean, it is what it is. Fighting injuries throughout the season and getting to where we were was just outstanding.
But obviously an unbelievable job. Unbelievable job by your girls. And I know highlighted by a couple girls, Madison Standiford being one as a sophomore standout for you. I'm sorry, freshman standout.
Yeah,
freshman standout for you guys. Winning several awards out there, Rookie of the Year included. correct?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. With Madison, she's also doing cross country here, which is just crazy. And her injury, she's got a fractured foot, so she's not only running cross country but playing, a conference title, winning a conference title, conference player of the year, get out to get out to Sumter, wins rookie of the year, wins another award for biggest competitor at nationals, like all this doing it while fighting an injury that she really didn't tell me a whole lot about until it was over.
Yeah.
So she's recovering now, and hopefully she'll be ready for next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, big time deal there. I know we got a chance to visit with Madison on a previous episode, and just her walking through her daily schedule with us. It's no surprise that she's a really really good tennis player, and really she'll be successful in whatever she goes on to do.
Yeah.
So awesome deal there. So now let's get you kind of wear two hats for us. So we'll go to the women again. Obviously, or I'm sorry, we'll transition from the women. We'll go to the men's team and kind of walk us through your regular season headed into the conference tournament. I know kind of heavy favorites all year because of your performances.
We were, I like to say that we were heavy favorites. We proved it on the court head to head against all these other teams. We didn't lose a JUCO match all season, which was just phenomenal. With all the guys in and out of the lineup with injuries and stuff. We battled all season long. Coastal South was 5-4 all 3 times we played them, 2 times in the regular season, and then 1 time at the conference tournament. And at no point did we ever just dominate them. We just squeaked by. We're winning the matches, and that's what you got to do throughout the season. But keeping my kids level headed and not big headed going into the national tournament was huge. So we ended up winning the conference tournament 5-4 in the finals because it was all 9 finals matches ended up together.
Yeah.
So we won 5 of the 4 and got a bid into the national tournament and got great seedings at nationals because we proved it on the court.
Yeah.
And we didn't just follow up at nationals with a few key victories. My guys were undefeated the first 3 days of the national tournament.
Yeah.
And so going into the final day, we had already won the national tournament.
Yeah.
And it was hard to keep my guys motivated for the finals. And we only won 2 of our 7 final matches at nationals, but we'd already clinched it in the semifinals day, which was, those kind of tournaments aren't won in one day anyway. They're won over a whole week.
Yeah.
And that's what I preached to my guys all week long. It wasn't a one-day tournament, that it's a whole week-long tournament. And man, my guys really stepped up.
Yeah. Yeah, unbelievably dominant performance to be able to win it, like you said, before you even get to those final draws of each individual tournament. So, some hard work for your guys, I think, as well out at the national tournament. Or Angel, I think, won several awards. Kind of what was he able to take home?
So he got most improved sophomore of the year. He got the Arthur Ashe Award. Maybe also he got sophomore of the year. So not just improved sophomore of the year, but sophomore of the year also. And he followed that up with he wasn't the number 1 seed going into the nationals. I felt like he was the best player there, but he had dropped a couple matches this year. And, man, he proved it. He had just lost to Jones's number 1 2 weeks prior before nationals. We get out there, he meets him in the finals and drops the first set in a tiebreaker, and then just absolutely dominates the rest of the match. Wins the second set 6-1 and the third set 6-1, and ends up proving that he's the best player in the nation, not just on my team, but every player in the nation. He's it. Yeah, he's the man.
That's awesome. And again, another one with a really good story that we got a chance to visit with early, who's, if you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out, because a guy coming over here to a new country and trying to figure it out is a very, very admirable thing to do. It's a very, very interesting interview with him as well as any of your others. So, in addition to that, for all your efforts and as the coach, you were able to win. I guess it says coach of the national championship, coach of the tournament for winning the tournament. So congratulations on that. I know. What else is there that we need to know about your team? You got any good stories for us from throughout the year for either one of your teams?
Probably too many stories for this opportunity, but I just can't give more thanks to the kids that come here and they worked their tail off to do the things that we've done at Wallace State, and at the national level. You know, we've been at this moment for many years, but we've always competed on the D1 level. Well, this was our first year to compete at the D2 level, which is our scholarship level. And to be able to win it the first year is amazing. Uh, you know, huge thanks to all the kids that have come before these guys and kind of set the tone to what we do every year. The culture for my program is just second to none. You know, every year the kids come in and they add new things to our culture, and this group right here is no different. I mean, just they work themselves to death to put it out on the court for me and for Wallace State.
No, that's
So
that's awesome. So anytime we love to bring hardware home, and we especially love it when it's got the NJCAA logo on it,
that's right.
and not just the conference logo. But congratulations to you, congratulations to your team, and thanks for taking some time with us today.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that was Wallace State tennis coach Tim Garner there. Great to catch up with him after an incredibly successful season by both of his teams. Um, so that'll close out the year. Again, he was the last team competing for Wallace State, so that's the end of the 26-27 year. So let's go. Let's look ahead now as Wallace State's newest sport, newest head coach, newest sport, women's soccer, going to be added in the fall of 26. Will be competing for the first time, and Wallace State's newest head coach that we got a chance to visit with recently, Brantton Green. Hey everybody, welcome back to another segment of Voices with the Pride. Here today with Brantton Green, our brand new women's soccer coach here at Wallace State, and our newest sport head coach, looking to begin competition in the fall of 26. So Brantton hard at work, recruiting his team and getting everybody ready to go. So we're excited to get that going and visit with him today. So welcome to the show, Brent.
Yeah, glad to be here. You're right, fun.
Yeah, lots of fun. Look, we want to kind of first, we're super excited to start women's soccer here. First time we've ever had it. Got to restart the men's soccer program last year. Women's soccer, a new venture for Wallace State. So super excited about that. Tell us kind of first, before we kind of get into Wallace State, tell us a little about you, a little about your background, and kind of how soccer became a sport for you.
Yeah, I mean, I played it my entire life, as far as I could remember. I mean, I played other sports too, but this is the main one. And then I'm from Mobile, so grew up there my whole life. Played at University of Mobile for 5 years, and then did it how it was kind of done. I didn't think I was going to coach or anything, and it just happened to fall out of that. Someone was like, "Hey, we need a coach here at high school," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And I was like, "Oh wait, it's adults." Okay. So then I started coaching club. Then I moved up to Huntsville, started coaching club up there, and where I met James, who I actually had not growing up. We had to play club against each other. So I met him up there playing like this the USL2 team, and so we played a season of that together. And then he was telling me, "Hey, you know, applying for the jobs now. I hit the Wallace now. Would you be interested in being licensed coach?" Yeah, sounds awesome. So when you got that, you like called me and was like, "Are you in?" Yes. So then, and then you worked super hard to get the program started, and I kind of just like waiting for the fall because I think I couldn't really start working until then. And then came, had a great time, and we had talked about the one Gs program coming along from there, but so we kind of got to the back from Lance store that season, but after I met him in Huntsville playing USL2, that's kind of when I stopped playing and just kind of focused on my career, like as a coach, trying to get licenses and different age groups and stuff like that. But I was ready to jump in this level, ready to take off. So that whole season was great. I had a fun time to do. Yeah, and then with Kristen and Dr. Carl always asked me if I wanted to would have been interesting coaching the girls team. Yes, yeah, that's I was open for this question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. He kind of freshman up there, but came to Wallace and helped coach James Fee in his first year and was in a very successful first year. Won the region here. Got to play in the district tournament in Montgomery, and you got a disappointing result there, but really, honestly, by any measure for a first year restart of the program, um, a very successful year. Talk about what you learned. Uh, kind of, I know you did a lot of things you said come by yourself, but it sounds like you were involved from afar. Uh, kind of talk to us about kind of what you've learned through the process of the first year with James Fee and the men's soccer team that they kind of helped you have a head start on getting the women's program going.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've learned a lot from him already because, like I said, I've been watching him do it. Buckets of mode summer, seeing how he's recruiting players. That's been the biggest struggle is learning how to recruit. Never had to do that before. So a lot of information from him on my way. And then obviously when I got the job, all of the inside things like jersey, scheduling, people I need to meet, get things set up. Third in is he kind of took me through the season expecting this might happen. So I kind of met a couple of people, learned a couple of procedures already. Easy transition really. And kind of, the thing that helped me the most is I'm not really struggling right now with that. It's just all about finding seat. Yeah. But it's been far so far, but it is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, the old saying, coaching, and if my X is bigger than your O, I could probably coach a little bit. Man. Yeah, recruiting is lifeblood of the deal. So it's an awesome deal. So right in the pick up recruiting now and I'm trying to get along to kind of update us on where we stand with that and where your roster is, how many you're gonna carry and all that kind of stuff.
So right now I think we just got 13 players today. We got 13. And I'm looking to get at least 18. Hoping did more. I'm thinking, being the first season, I'll be able to bring in, 20-ish. But 25 would be great. That would be ideal that way. Yeah. Good training environment, good game environment. Everybody's at the games and practices. Any more than that, it's probably going to leave people at home on late. But honestly, going strong. We picked up some really strong players. Some I didn't expect to get. Just from knowing people, getting around the area. All local so far, all from Birmingham, Huntsville, nothing around, the Colin-Hansel area. So, I mean, I think we kind of filled out all positions already. The only one we're lacking in is we need a second goalkeeper. And then so we've only got one, and that's kind of the hardest position to find.
Yeah, people that don't know soccer know the goalkeepers, very important.
Full day. So we definitely need, a good one. I think we have a solid one coming already. But just, either, second string or someone to fight for that starting position. It creates some competition to make these up.
Very and depth for sure. Big piece. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but you guys said a lot of your players are currently local. Kind of talk about the footprint of where you intend to recruit from, and Wallace is great campus and great environment, so you can kind of stretch that reach a little further than some junior colleges. But kind of talk about where you kind of envision the majority of your team coming from. Is that in local a strategy at that
Local is a strategy. Playing soccer my entire life in the Alabama area, but up and down all levels. And then obviously coaching in Mobile and up in Huntsville. So I know there's a bunch of players that go under the radar. So yes, first, and my priority is local players. I think I picked up some that had no expectations of playing, but are great players. And how they did get picked up, I don't know. But lucky for me, I was able to snag him. So that is my goal is to, around Alabama first, get players that are fine on radar, maybe extend to Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, but really not trying to go super far with players. I know there's enough a level of quality players now to get that one go far as long as I'm out there, for great after.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great place to be when you can get a lot of them. That'll create a lot of excitement. So we talked about your being here and all that. Tell us, like, obviously an opportunity to be here, uh, be at the college level from where you were was a big part of it. But what else and what other things got you really excited about being a Ball State at the coach?
Yeah. Honestly, Wallace State was new to me until James brought it up. But just getting on campus on some surprised me. It's a big campus and it's nice. And honestly, that whole first season as the assistant coach, I learned a lot about the school. I know that the school supported the athletics programs very well, and honestly, just how we are such a winning trope, like winning school athletically. It's made me want to be a part of it. It's super strong. Everyone knows Wallace, and everyone knows we're gonna compete and be up there. I love that. I love being someone that expects more, and succeeding and doing it. So that's kind of what pushed me to do it. Was there's never been a women's program, like in your project game just said that even in the past we've been strong. We won on the men's side. We continue to win. This guy's here, so your program, hopefully the same results though. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think you see it a lot. You see the investment of that situation, the alignment, the situation on want to be excellent in all facets is a big deal. So kind of take me again kind of what do we expect? And lots of local players, lots of local flavor there. What do we expect to see? I know we're going to play a lot more doubleheaders, so maybe people come out and catch 2 games. But what do we expect to see from your Kings playing soccer? Maybe in layman's terms for some of those of us who aren't as well versed in soccer as you.
Yeah. So for the women's team, we'll be playing really close to the men's team, like at home. So the men's team will have a game one day. I scheduled most of the games to be right after the next day, so they kind of get the feel of the teams play together. And then away trips will be with them. But me and Dave, we have a similar style of coaching and sense of how we want our players to play. We definitely get to our players differently. They're very loud and very considered to go. My voice doesn't project like that, but we do see the game very similar. But we're also completely different people. So what you see from the men's team, you'll kind of see from the women's team, just from I guess different aspects. Pepa got look to play more. The women's game is very different in the men. So it's not going to be as get the ball up and we're going and going. We're gonna control the ball a little bit more, but we're gonna do it in good areas, which means away from our goal. We don't want to risk it and score on. Yeah, when we don't have to. But I think we're gonna have strong players that can move the ball well, and I think we're gonna play a second ball if we're gonna go forward quickly. But Bill is coming in that know when and where to go forward. So I think time will be on our side during the fall. We have a competition scheduled for us because I think we can handle it. I think it's gonna get us ready for our
Yeah, yeah, awesome. That's awesome. So, uh, unbelievable. Obviously we've been again, like you said, stepping into a place that really want to be good. It's proven they can do well. And, good news for you. We don't have to do quite so much work on the field this time. I know James still a lot of work there. Uh,
we still got a good bit to do. We probably tore it up this fastball, so it's almost back starting at starting point, but definitely a way better base layer than Waterville.
yeah, it's an awesome facility, and that facility is right outside the Loan Center. For anybody that will see you guys coming in the fall there, ready to play. So the last thing I'll leave with this. Give us the thing you're most excited about going into this year. Uh, you know, with getting your first year at Wallace State and the Heaven Cup. Kind of give it what you're most excited about. I know there's a lot to be excited about, but if you could point to just one thing that kind of gets you up and gets you excited about, what would that be?
I mean, just the team in general. I'm excited to be the head coach. It's gonna be awesome having my first season to kind of everything mine. Like I have to determine how we're gonna play, who's starting, what the gear looks like, how the players are gonna interact daily, like how practices are forming, everything falls on me. And honestly, that's what I'm excited for, taking that responsibility. I love being an assistant coach. You're kind of just helping from behind the scenes and being a part of it. But I also love to know that like this is gonna be like my project, yeah, and that's when it was having my impact on the ladies in the first season.
That's awesome. We're excited for you. I know it's going to be a great, successful year in your first year, and that's a super exciting deal. So that's Brant Green, head women's soccer coach at Wallace State. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, they